Hey guys, might be rolling again. Uh, Had a comment a handmade. I had to take notes because it was like a multi things. He said he's currently in Thailand. Misspelled that, by the way. I'm terrible about that, but I got to make fun of you for it because I do the same thing. I misspell all kinds of stuff. Uh, Said he's getting back from Thailand and he's looking to become an owner operator and he's got plenty of money and he doesn't want to get burned, but he's thinking about going owner operator and signing on what he said was a direct route. Not really sure what that is or what he's referring to. I don't know if it means like a dedicated run, home daily sort of thing. Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of that work out there if that's what you're into. Um, Myself, I like to be home, man. I don't want to be out on the road. I go out on the road 3 nights. If I'm in the truck 3 nights straight, I am itching to get home. I'll call my week short just so I can go home. I do not like being in that truck that long. These guys that run cross country, more power to you, man. That ain't me. I love my wife and I love my life. I want to come home and live it. Um, I want to get out there on the road, be efficient, make my money, do it safe, do it legal, get myself home. And then enjoy. I don't like working more than half the week. That's why I do what I do. Flatbed, it pays good. I'm telling you. Uh, but As far as getting back and going owner operator, that you might have an issue with that if you got 2 years over the road experience. What they say over the road, which is touching. I don't know how many states it is. Years ago, it used to be if you drove in 5 or more states and you drove through all 4 seasons, so that's like a full year, that sort of thing. I don't know exactly how they do that now, but basically it's 2 years over the road or 1 year of accredited schooling plus 1 year over the road equals 2 years over the road. But, just going straight to owner operator with not a lot of experience, I wouldn't recommend that. Um, if you don't have the experience, if you don't have the experience, go company driver, learn the ropes, learn the business, learn the runs, get all of the learning out of the way on your employer's dime. You know what I mean? If a mistake's made, it's his dime. Um, and then once you've got it figured out and you feel comfortable, you've obviously got the capital. Once you feel comfortable that, hey, yeah, I got this, I know what I'm doing. Then you buy a truck and lease on with the same guy. 99 times out of 100, if you're with a company and you decide you want to be an owner operator, they'll be like, okay, cool, we'll lease you on. So you go buy your truck. You never switch jobs. Your job history stays the same. You just go buy a truck and then you sign the lease paperwork. And now you go from this pay scale to this pay scale. Just now you're an owner operator. And you're responsible for all the repairs and the maintenance and the fuel and the insurance and get ready. You're going to see some big numbers and think, woo, man, I am making a lot of money. Not so much. You're spending a lot of money to make. Some people make a lot of money. Some people make a little money. Some people spend a lot of money to make a little. Some people spend a lot of money to make a lot. So, you just want to get somewhere there in a happy medium. But, as far as having a lot of money and not getting burned, that's one of the reasons I would recommend trying a company out as a company driver. Doesn't have to be for a long time. You're going to know within, I always give a company 60 days to prove themselves. They're either going to prove, hey, I can make money here and they're decent people to work with, or you're going to know in 30 to 60 days, this ain't for me, man. I'm going to keep looking. I'm switching and doing something else. No shame in that game, man. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, find something better. There's so many different things you can do with trucks, hauling different kinds of trailers, different kinds of freight, commodities, tanks, flatbeds, vans, reefers. In the beginning, don't be afraid to, if you lease on somewhere, give them 60 to 90 days. I would say 6 months in the beginning. Just know what you want to do, what you're capable of doing. That way you don't look like a job hopper right out of the gate, But in the beginning, the first time or even the second time you're switching, if you tell the company you're with, hey, I'm new and I've got X amount of experience, but I'm pulling a box and I'm not making very much money. And, a lot of guys are telling me flatbed or tankers where it's at, and I'm interested, they'll look at you a lot different as a job hopper, as somebody who's looking to improve themselves, but if you switch companies 3-4 times in the first year or two, yeah, it's a red flag. So you want to be careful about that. But as far as, that's a good way to not get burned is get somewhere and be like, hey, because you see the numbers as a company driver, you see the numbers. And as an owner operator, you're just going to look at the same exact numbers, but a bigger percentage. And then you're going to take your operating expenses out of that. But the first thing I would do when I get to a company is I start talking to all the old hands, all the guys that's been there for a while, owner operators. They're in that game. They're making the kind of money you are looking to make. ask them. They'll tell you. You're with the company. Just say, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about going owner operator. Would you mind answering a few questions? And I write down. I'll drive down the road, jot down a question when I stop. Of course, you don't want to do it while you're driving. But when you stop, jot down a couple of questions. Before you know it, you'll have a whole page full of questions that you want to ask. You want to ask meaningful questions, not silly shit, Yeah, that's a really good way to get into owner operator. Try them out as a company driver. If you don't have experience, you're gonna most likely have to go company driver anyway, because they're not going to lease on an owner operator without 2 years over the road. But if you do have the experience and you want to go straight into owner operator, then there's no shame in that. I mean, jump right in, but you're kind of committed once you do, because it costs money to switch companies. I mean, it takes weeks, I would never leave one company if it's just wanting to better myself. I wouldn't leave one company until I've got number 2 already in the process. Like, oh, yep, we're approved and we can set you up for orientation the next week. And the whole 2 weeks notice thing in the trucking industry, nobody does that. I mean, employers would like for you to give them 2 weeks notice. Hell, they'd like for you to give them 2 months notice. But if they're going to terminate you for any reason whatsoever, they're not even going to tell you. They're going to route you through the office. And when you come into the office not knowing anything's wrong, you're done. Clean the truck out, you're done. I'm sorry, but I'm going to extend out the same exact respect that they would extend to me. So every company I've ever left, I told them I'll finish out this week and then I'm done. That's it. I'll finish out this payroll cycle, then I'm done. And there's no anything I can do to make you stay. Nope, that decision's already been made, But that being said, I've always given them at least 2 opportunities to improve my pay. Meaning, hey, I'm not getting enough loads, I'm not getting enough work, or it's not paying good enough. The profit margins are too small. I'm not sure this is going to work. Is there anything you can do to help me out, put me on different routes, different lanes, whatever? And I give them an opportunity to either prove themselves or fail. And when they do, then I don't feel a darn bit bad about, hey, finishing out this week, then I'm gone. And they already know why. You've asked them twice, not once, twice, to better it. And they couldn't do it, you're gone. And that's the way trucking industry is. We go where the money's at, boys. That's what the name of this game. You go where the money's at. A lot of guys like to drive a truck and make a living. They're happy. They're content. That's all I need to do. Hey, more power to you. Myself, I always strive for excellence. If I see someone doing better than me, I'm not one of these guys that just, I'll do that because he's doing better. No. I do a lot of research before I switch companies or make a decision like that. I pulled a tank for 10 years. I pulled a reefer in the beginning, but I pulled a box in the very beginning. I'll never do that again. Then I pulled a reefer, and that was kind of a pain. Then when I switched over to tank, I was like, oh, man, this is gravy right here. It don't get much easier than this. And money was pretty good pulling tank. I'm not going to lie. And then like I said, I had kids getting ready to start college. I needed to make $50,000 a year more, or I was going to have to cut my living expenses down. Wasn't willing to do that, so I need $50,000 a year more. Gave them 2 opportunities, guys. Let's switch. I gave up a good spot on a dedicated run to switch lanes to try to make more money. Made the same money, maybe a little bit more, but not noticeable. And said, hey, we got to try something else. This isn't working. I've got till this summer. I got to do something. Oh, well, I'm doing all I can do. Unfortunately, the loads we have, that's all we have. That's number 2. Then I started looking. I spent 30 days looking at companies, going on the driver forum, talking to people about, hey, just looking at conversations that were already on there. And you kind of, a lot of people are asking the same questions, and the answers haven't changed much over the years. But I did probably a solid 3 weeks to 30 days of research before I zeroed in and said, okay, this is what I'm looking at doing. This is what I'm going to target right here. What's the best companies in my region that does this? And then I did another about a week. Well, I wouldn't even say a week. I'd say within 3 days, I had to narrow down to 3 or 4 companies that I was going to look at. And I actually went and interviewed them. I didn't call and say, hey, are you leasing on trucks? I don't give a shit. If you're a successful company, they're leasing on trucks. They're not going to turn down a truck. If they're saying, well, we're not currently leasing on trucks, they've got just enough freight and they're happy, whatever. They don't want to lease on more trucks because they can't find work for you. You see what I'm saying? But any company out there worth their salt's going to be like, yep, we're leasing on trucks. And then they will lease you on, keep you busy while they're out instantly raising the amount of freight that they need to get to keep their trucks busy, accepting more and more loads. That's why I'm in a good industry, flatbed. there's always loads that pop up every day. And if you've got more trucks available, it's more loads you get to haul, you know. But yeah, just don't make a hasty decision in this business. Do your research first. Know what you're going to do before you jump in, because you may be jumping out of the frying pan right into the fire. Just you want to be careful. Anyway, quick video about that. But as far as not getting burned, do the company driver thing first. I would highly recommend that. Unless you've got experience and you know what you're doing, then go straight to owner operator. You know, Bob's your uncle. Get her done. Anyway, but you all be good out there, and we'll catch you later.